Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Going Nuclear, full-blown coverage of the land. I am Ethan Greenberg, and stepping in to help co-host is a former co-host of the show, the one, the only, Meghan Donovan. Meghan, thank you so much for joining the program. Again, always appreciate it. How are you doing this evening, and welcome back?
Doing great. Thanks for having me back. It's been a while,
It,
but
it
glad to be back.
Yeah, it's always fun. We always have a good time here. At least I try to, because when we're talking about the Browns, generally there's not a lot of fun times to talk about. There really aren't. So I try to do things fun. Whether it's a fun segment of Yay or Oy Vey and talking about what things you would eat from a gas station, whether it be gas
Oh
station
yeah.
sushi, egg salad sandwiches, maybe a tuna salad sandwich, or those frozen burgers that you would get out of the freezer and then you'd have to microwave them in the gas station. Those are fantastic.
Oh yeah.
I think they've tried to upgrade places, though. There's so many more places. I've never been there, but have you been to a Buc-ee's yet? Because I hear lots of great things about Buc-ee's.
I've been to a Buc-ee's one time and it was a fabulous experience.
Oh wow, that's great. And then
It's great. Like they have everything and the food is like amazing.
isn't that crazy though? How far things have come. From what was your usual service station that you'd go to, and it just was. You'd
Right.
go in there and yeah, that was sketchy. To now, you've got all the places, the Sheets, the Wawas, the Buc-ee's, and what is it, Royal Farm? I've heard. I don't might have one around here in Virginia, but it's crazy how these things have grown so big, and even 7-Eleven, the way they've expanded. So, yeah. So, as always, we try and have a little bit of fun here, even when we're dealing with our beloved, not so good football team. So welcome everybody to Going Nuclear, full-blown coverage of the land. We are a part of the Fanatical Elves Network, a subsidiary of Fans First Sports Network. So thank you all for joining us here tonight. So Meghan, we're 2 weeks into this NFL season, and the Browns are 0-2. Week one, you had hope going into it, and then that piece of Schmidt botched the kicks, and then last week was just an absolute debacle,
Yeah.
a thrashing, and then to make matters worse, they're both division losses.
Right. And I think too, like the first game against the Bengals, other than special teams, they played pretty well. So I felt like at that point it was like, I wasn't coming into the season thinking we were going to be a playoff team but I watched them play the Bengals and I said, you know what, this is pretty hopeful. They could string along some games here, but after Sunday, I just think we're done. We're toast. Like that was as terrible as like I've remembered in a couple of years.
And that's amazing. What do you think?
And I know who we're playing. And I know it's the Ravens. But when your defense limits the top rushing quarterback to, I don't even know what he had, like 20 some yards.
Derrick Henry had 11 carries for 23 yards.
Okay, Derrick Henry had 23 yards.
Yeah, the defense played lights out, but when you put them out there and in such horrible predicaments because of poor special teams, terrible turnovers, I mean, as Kevin Stefanski said in the post game, to have to give up 21 points between turnovers and special teams, that's going to make it very difficult to win in this league. And so
it's also going to be difficult to win when your offense can't score.
Right. And
they can't stay on the field.
Right. So the offense was, in my words, I mean, to be nice, they were offensive. They were just plain offensive, play on the words there. And Joe Flacco, he looked like a 40-year-old.
Oh yeah, he showed his age.
He did. The cement shoes he was wearing were tough. That was tough. I mean, and the fact that we're throwing the ball 45 freaking times. Now, I know that some of that may have been when we started getting down in the second half. I'd have to look at the splits on that. But the run-pass balance was not there at all. And I don't know what the deal is that they haven't done that. I am hopeful that with Quinshon Judkins, back another week now, that maybe they can start to get to that. But I'm not sure what they're going to do. And apparently they're going to roll out Flacco again this week. Dylan Gabriel came in garbage time, went 3 for 3, 19 yards, and he threw a nice touchdown pass, quite honestly. I mean, it was a pretty pass to Dylan Sampson, a birthday touchdown. It was a birthday touchdown. I mean, what do you think the best option is, short-term, long-term, for the Browns at quarterback?
Well, I mean, I would say right now you continue to play Flacco.
Okay.
Because he's a veteran and he's just your best. Right now I think it's the best position.
Okay.
Of like to do that. But come bye week and all right, here's our record. This is the projection of the rest of the season. I think you throw in Dylan Gabriel. And what makes my mind go crazy is, at the end of the day, they didn't want Flacco. They wanted
Kenny Pickett.
And so why would you trade him, knowing that Flacco isn't gonna move? I mean, obviously that showed he cannot move. He cannot roll out. He can't escape anything anymore. And I rewatched the game I don't know, like Tuesday maybe. And I charted the coverages that defense plays us in.
Okay, what'd you find? What were you? I'm curious about this.
Yeah.
This is awesome. This is great insight. What'd you find?
This is where I think teams have our number now, because majority of the coverages that the Ravens played against us was cover 1 and cover 6.
Okay.
So cover 1 meaning you have the one safety over the top.
Okay.
And all of that, and that's pretty much that's played to stop the run and stop anything play action. So anything where your receivers are going to be able to run routes or anything like that. And we have no run game. So you can't defeat the cover 1 coverage. And then they also played what they call a cover 6. So you have 2 safeties over the top, which it'll look like cover 2 or cover 4, right?
Okay.
To quarterback. Meaning like cover 2 is going to be man coverage, so everything. But what happens in cover 6 is the one safety goes over and they move into a cover 2, and then the other half of the field, the other safety and the defensive backs run a cover 4. So that takes away everything underneath. So if you remember in against the Bengals, Joe Flacco was hitting all of these underneath passes. I mean, that was basically it was everything to Fannin and the running backs and anything like that. So they took that away. And like, I don't know what is wrong with the receivers, but they cannot run routes, let alone catch the ball when they get it to them.
Well, speaking of that, I'm sorry. First of all, I love the analysis, because that I was actually watching the game, and I'm watching with Jacob, and they're showing my son Jacob, and they're showing the video, and they're zoomed out, and I'm like, oh, like I see 2 high safeties.
Right.
But I love the analysis. But did you hear Jerry Jeudy today talking to Jeff Shadell?
No, I didn't.
All right, I'm going to try and play this, and hopefully this will work properly. But Jeff Shadell, a reporter there in Cleveland, I mean, he's asking Jerry about getting open. And this is kind of funny because of what you just said. Hopefully this works. Okay, it's going to start here in just a second. So let's see. Should have had this queued up, but it was just impromptu that you said what you said.
Issue on offense, they go downfield right from the start of the game. And you guys have been kind of ball control-ish so far.
This is such a good.
You just gotta play smart, and
Well,
Flacco, that Green Bay comes.
Well, darn, I cannot find this. But Jeff Shadell asks him about not being able to get open. And he starts saying like, "Oh, did you watch the tape?" And we're like, what does that mean? And it was kind of like this back and forth. He's like, "Well, you just seemed hard to get open. Did you watch the tape?" "Well, I watched the game." At the end, they kind of joked. He's like, "Oh, you got to go watch the tape." And they kind of cracked up. But when you watch the tape, what did you see?
I mean, he only had a couple targets, and he had another couple drops as well.
It's horrible.
And like, he prides himself on the shifty route runner, but like, I haven't seen him perform well since the game that he dominated against Denver.
Right. I mean, and I know this is like, for people who don't listen to Cleveland sports radio all day long like I do, because I'm a maniac and I'm a glutton for punishment. But Aaron Goldhammer on Really Big Show on ESPN Cleveland talked about he's originally from Denver. He's from Colorado, so he watched a lot of the Broncos games with Jerry Jeudy, and he basically said, "This is the Jerry Jeudy I saw in Denver. The one last year that we saw was not that guy." So I don't know how to unlock that. And I guess that's so you think that sticking with Flacco is the way to go. Is that simply because he's a veteran and he's seen all of this? Or, why would you stick with him if mobility is an issue and part of the game is predicated on rollouts? Would they not be best served trying to go with Dylan Gabriel to see if he can spark something, even though we know that Flacco's obviously the more experienced and still has a phenomenal arm?
Right. I mean, I will say this. I'm going to backtrack.
Okay.
And I think what the Browns did this summer with training camp and having a 4-quarterback rotation was extremely ill-advised. And I don't know. They never got, I mean, they look so lost, even with Joe Flacco. I mean, they look so disheveled and lost. And I think that really goes back to their preparations in training camp, where they never had they had Joe Flacco for 2 series on one day.
Right.
And then they had, Dylan, and him at three series one day. And it was never just like, all right. Like, and they never played. Like, a lot of, gosh, I'm not comparing, but like Joe Burrow played the whole preseason.
Well,
and I think Patrick Mahomes did too.
They always do. So different teams take these different philosophies. So there's a couple of things I would kind of pose to you in that question or about that. The way things fell out, the first move was a trade for Kenny Pickett, trading DTR. The next move was signing Joe Flacco as a veteran backup. They go into the draft. They realize we're at number 2. We're not the best quarterback in the draft class is Cam Ward. We're not going to get him. Let's trade back, get some extra picks, extra draft capital. Ultimately, they like Dylan Gabriel. They pick him up. And then they're sitting there, and Shedeur is still on the board, and they're like, well, hell, might as well take a flyer on him. And that was a mistake because it was an ill-conceived plan. I think you needed to because maybe, do you think they were going to try and go with initially 2 veterans and a rookie? And then it got all messed up when they ended up getting Shedeur as well. And Andrew Berry loves him some draft picks, and he can't put him to the practice squad. They will get picked up. They have to clear.
The only thing that I could think of is like they kept 2 veterans for like situations like now where you have like San Francisco looking for a quarterback. You have the Vikings looking for a quarterback. You have, I don't know who else. I'm a little like I don't know who else got hurt.
Right.
And then they trade Joe Flacco again, kind of like the deal with the Colts when the Colts picked him up last season. But I have no idea. I think they're unprepared. I think it's almost like it's almost like now is their training camp with Joe Flacco. And I think everything just looks bad. The line looks terrible.
Right. And even though
Ron Jones looks atrocious.
Yeah, you are definitely a very observant person when it comes to the offensive line. and you were very critical of Mr. Jed Wills. I know how much you loved him, but no, they look older, even though they've gone back to the blocking scheme they were successful under. They're 2 and 3 years older now, and they're not. They didn't create any holes. There was no running room there.
Like, why is your starting left tackle coming out for series due to heat?
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
It was like low 80s.
These guys,
it's not like they're playing down in like I don't know,
Miami,
Tampa Bay or Miami, you know, where it's like hot, you know, like it's going to be hotter this Sunday here at home. It's going to be 83.
Yeah, and then they're wearing their
there's all brown uniforms.
Well, you know, that's a huge problem. Like, where's the preparation for that? That goes on part of the staff. It's like the person who's got to figure out cleats, the person who's got to make sure these guys are hydrated and ready to go. Where are you on that? What are you doing? You got to be prepared for these things. They do look better, I will say, Meghan, in terms of they aren't having as many malfunctions. The pre-snap penalties aren't as bad because they did practice harder this season, than they did last season at the Greenbrier, when all they were trying to do was get everybody to opening week healthy, and they screwed everybody by not being well prepared. And they ended up being hurt anyway, and it was ridiculous. And that was a debacle, an absolute debacle. So, I mean, in some ways, they did things differently and better, and they practiced harder. The defense certainly looks good.
They look like the number one defense in the NFL.
They are, and the problem is we are thin in the defensive secondary.
That's a problem, and again, that showed on Sunday when your number one corner is coming out for cramps.
Right. And
it wasn't even like at the end of the game. It was the beginning. It was like the first half.
Yep.
Why are our players coming out for cramps and it's not hot?
Yeah, I can't.
Is this like a conditioning issue? Is it like
were
you out boozing the night before? Like what is happening?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe they're having too many crab cakes. They went to Charm City Cakes to Duff Goldman.
I mean, I would assume that they would pull them into the locker room and give them an IV.
That's what I said. I'm like, give this man
out there.
Yeah, give this man an IV. If they focus more on the team than the uniforms, we might have a watchable. Well, you know, that's a marketing thing. That's not the players nor the coaches. So and actually, Meg, they were wearing we were wearing white jerseys, the white uniforms on this past Sunday, while Baltimore was wearing their purple. I'm like, that's kind of odd that they would choose to wear their dark jerseys on a warm day. I normally there's a strategy there.
I think the visiting team gets the vote of what they want to wear.
No,
I think that's how it works. I think the visiting.
I thought for some reason the home team got to choose these things, and that as an advantage, they got to use that. Excuse me. To their advantage. But any way you slice it, it's no good. So we were talking before we came on. How much of this can we trace the thinness in the roster, the thinness in the secondary? How much of it can you trace it to the draft picks and lack of draft capital, and ultimately the move to get Deshaun Watson? How much of that do you think is still? I think it's still impacting them in terms of how much salary they have.
On multiple things, your cap, your picks, and the fact that you don't have a starting quarterback.
Right. Exactly. I mean, I
know it's unfortunate that he's had 2 season-ending injuries, but when he's been god awful. Well, I don't even think he wants to play. I think he just pass a check. But
yeah. No, it's all as a result of that. And I guess everybody's talking now about like, well, what's the threshold? Are Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski on the hot seat? Are they safe?
They should be.
Should be safe or on the hot seat?
They should be on the hot seat.
I kind of think so as well. I could see it either way.
If anyone should be on the hot seat, it should be Bubba.
Oh, yeah. What is going on with the special teams? That's the very unspecial teams. You nearly get, I mean, how are they going to mess up there? Gerard Cherry talked about it the other day about just bad technique. That's what happened on that punt block. It was bad technique by Ronnie Hickman. And then the missed kicks. I don't know what they do with these guys or don't do with these guys. I think Phil Dawson is cursing us. He won't come out and say it, but I think he's cursing us. He's still pissed that they didn't, re-sign him 10 years ago.
I mean, I don't know. The special teams is atrocious, and glad the kid made his kicks, so you couldn't blame him this week. But
right,
the
but
punts,
how long is that
coverages? I mean, it's bad.
No, it's awful, and we haven't had a good kick returner since Josh Cribbs, probably. Maybe Travis Benjamin.
I was gonna say
he might have been the last good kick returner we've had, and that's awful, absolutely awful. So I don't know. So you think sticking with Flacco might be the best short term? The question is, I guess, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Yeah.
I feel like if they go out there and get their asses handed to them, and the offense looks bad this week and maybe next week, because they're playing Green Bay at home and then Detroit on the road, I could see Dylan Gabriel making his London debut.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's a winnable game now because either A, with J.J. McCarthy, who looks like trash.
He's hurt, isn't he?
He is. So if he's back, even if he is back, he looks like trash. And the alternative is Carson Wentz. And he's terrible. They've got a very good defense, but that offense is not good. They can't get the ball to Justin Jefferson. So I mean, it's a winnable game there. These next two are going to be absolutely brutal. So if we're talking about the struggles of the offense, where do you put most of it based upon what you saw? Is it the quarterback play? Is it the O-line? Is it the wide receivers? Or is it just a complete combination of it all being disastrous?
I think it's a combination. I think you've lost your play action because you can't run the ball. You don't have a quarterback that can roll out anymore. So that loses a lot of mobility, and they've, we can't get open.
Right. And is that and so then again, that goes with the lack of draft capital, the picks, and the inability to have talent in the wide receiver room. And furthermore, Andrew Berry can't pick, he's more likely to I don't even know. I can't come up with a terrible analogy for him, but he might as well be picking his nose as opposed to picking the players when it comes to wide receivers. He's got a blind spot there. It's horrible. He knows how to trade for them. He does know how to do a pretty decent job trading for him and getting pretty good value there. But this is not acceptable when we're talking about Judy is wide receiver 1, and he's not 1A material for most teams. And then you drop off your next guy is Tillman, and I like Tillman. I got no problem with him. But what's next then? I mean, Isaiah Bond, why aren't we getting him more involved? He's got this speed. Get him over the top. Use him like Tyreek Hill. Please try something, right?
Right.
And Fannin and Njoku, if they can get any, space, they're valuable too. I mean, I think there's potential there. But like you said, I think it really starts in the trenches. Because we talk about going back a ways to immobile quarterbacks for the Browns. Bernie Kosar. He couldn't move, barely. But what did we have? We had a great running game and an offensive line to make things happen there, so that they had to respect the play action, and he could, get some time to pass back there. So. I'm not sure. This is another good thing from the Jerry Jeudy interview. This I found kind of comical. I think Mary Kay Cabot was asking him a question about, what's going on and what to change and this, that, and the other. He's like, we played, just 2 games. What do we got? Like 14, 13, 12 games left? We got a bunch of games left. You not know how many games are in a season, sir? Oh man. Wait a second. Wait. What do we got here? You didn't have every quarter. Oh, okay. I see. Yeah, back then you didn't have to be mobile. You're right. It was a different time, but nevertheless, like to have a statue back there is not helpful. So let's see. So we got terrible offensive line play. They're not providing protection. And Joe Flacco can't move, so he's a sitting duck because they don't respect the run game. So there's nobody open. The wide receivers can't separate.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess, I think we all thought we were getting the Joe Flacco from 2 years ago. And unfortunately,
Do you think we would have been better? Okay, here's a hypothetical. Had Kenny Pickett not injured his hamstring, what do you think they were really going to do? Do you think they would have done what you're saying, kept all four with the hopes of saying, hey, somebody has an injury. Let's trade one of these guys. Let's trade Flacco.
I think they would have kept Pickett, Flacco, and Gabriel.
You think they would have traded Sanders or tried to get him to the practice squad?
Yes.
Huh.
And then I think they would have pawned whoever, probably Joe Flacco or whoever, if they were just like, we need a quarterback.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I mean, because look at the Giants.
Right.
They have Jameis Winston in the back. Right? And then they have Wilson starting quarterback, and they have Jackson Dart. So it's the same. It's literally the same script that we have.
It is.
And they're probably going to trade Jameis Winston to, I forget who was after him.
Oh, really? Yeah, I had not seen that. Maybe I had seen a glimmer of something or a glimpse of something, but hey, get ready for, some eating some W's or something and throwing some interceptions and may God, what do you say, like God deliver him from pick sixes?
Yes.
That guy's funny. I'll tell you what, if nothing else, he's entertaining. But I didn't mind losing with him last year. I thought, hey, I'll take this over the other. I will lose with this guy. It gives me excitement and a heart attack all at the same time. What do you think about with Quinshon Judkins making his debut? He goes for 10 carries, 61 yards. Now, that was with a 31-yarder, which is the big one. And then the other ones were, yes, Mazel Tov. I don't know. I'm missing something here, but yes, Mazel Tov indeed. Did I miss something, Megan?
I have no idea.
Okay, all right. I don't think I've got my my high out or my Star of David out. So Quinshon Judkins goes 10 carries, 61 yards. 31 of those yards was on one carry. So it looks like he's averaging 6 yards a carry. But in actuality, the other 9 carries were 9 carries, 30 yards, about 3 on average. Jerome Ford, 6 carries, 31 yards. Dylan Sampson, he is not a guy you need to be sending, trying to get through the tackles. He's a speedster. 4 carries, 6 yards. I mean, and the depth chart, which Kevin Stefanski said Peter Jean-Baptiste writes, had Judkins listed 1, Sampson 2, Ford 3. I think that's the right order anyway. What do you think?
Yeah. Wait, he had Judkins 1, Sampson
2, Ford 3.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because the last time I drove a Ford, it was a piece of. Oh no, I mean, as I was saying, Ford really is turning out to be fixed or repaired daily, or found on road dead. I don't know. I don't know what that guy's doing, because either he gets 0 yards or like 75 yards, and he's not decisive. Am I imagining things, or is he just not decisive when it comes to hitting a hole?
Yeah, he dances too much.
Wasn't that like Trent Richardson's problem?
Yeah. Another bust.
And all these different regimes with these terrible picks. How can we keep doing this? In the game, let's see. Judy had 4 catches, 51 yards. Fannin had 5 receptions for 48. Njoku, 4 receptions, 40 yards. said Tillman, 2 receptions, 22 yards, and an oops, the ball landed in my hands, touchdown. And Dylan Sampson had 3 receptions, 13 yards, and a touchdown for his birthday. There we go. Wait a second. Ford is like a You mean it's going to come out either way? Is this what you're saying? That's another story. I don't know where to even go to fix this team, but that was a dreadful performance by the offense. And I'm not sure where you even start to fix that, because is it really technique? Is it play calling?
I have no idea. I don't know what they're trying to do anymore. Because last year it was all those gimmicky like jet sweeps. Remember, Elijah Moore would come and
oh my God,
run around. You'd run behind 10 yards and then just get to the line of scrimmage. We ran those stupid tight end screens all the time that weren't anything. But you don't see screens anymore. You don't see anything that's like which is weird. If you say that you have a great, incredible line, why wouldn't you be running screens? If your line should be able to get out there.
I think they did try one, at least one, and maybe Posick didn't get out soon enough, and whoever caught the ball got blown up. It might have been Sampson. Just got destroyed right after the catch. I think there's some positives, though. I do think there are some positives, and we are going to get to that in a moment here. So I was fortunate enough, Meghan, if you get down to the Stark County area and you're looking for anything for car stereo equipment, any auto solutions, make sure you hit up Horizon Audio. Horizon Audio, stop by one of their 3 locations in North Canton on Whipple Avenue, in Canton on Tuscarawas Street, or in Alliance on South Union Avenue. Horizon Audio, been in business since 1989. Proud to say my high school classmate, good friend, Aaron Joseph, he has owned all 3 of those locations since 2016. So if you are in Stark County and you are looking for any auto solutions, please stop by one of the 3 Horizon Audio locations. And now let's take a moment to pause from a word from our sponsors. You're tuned in to Going nuCLEar, full-blown coverage of the land. And welcome back, everybody, to Going nuCLEar, full-blown coverage of the land, a part of the Fanatical Elves Network, a subsidiary of Fans First Sports Network. So you mentioned this earlier, not so special teams. That block punt, that really turned the game on its head, because they were still in it at that point. And then there was another long punt return. When is Bubba Ventrone going to get held accountable?
Sorry. I was reading the comments.
All right. You know what? Do they have any wranglers? Well, I don't know if the people who work there wrangle folks, but I'm sure they work on wranglers.
No, like Jeep Wranglers.
I know. I don't think they
I'm in the market for a Jeep Wrangler.
Are you? Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't think they sell cars, but they'll get you all the finest in your auto solutions, stereos and other technology, whether it be radar detectors or alarm systems, lights, etc. They'll fix you up there, but be sure to check them out. So at what point does Bubba Ventrone get held accountable?
I hope at the end of the season when they fire him.
Should it be before then?
I don't think you can get rid of him. No, but you could, but that's unheard of for the Browns. But if you remember when he was hired, he's not technically he's like an assistant coach. I think he negotiated that assistant coach title
because we hired him away from the Colts.
Yes,
but also remember last year, about halfway through the season, Mike Vrabel was working with the offensive line. Do you recall this?
Yes.
And Andy Dickerson, we find out he's fired. Yeah, he was fired. But nobody said anything. I feel like Bubba's got to answer to somebody. I loved him as a player. I like, I got nothing against him, but seriously, we were this bad. What about the defense though? Other than them kind of getting tired, I mean, Myles Garrett, for as much as he went down Radio Row with a blowtorch during Super Bowl week, demanding a trade and all that stuff, he's looking pretty dominant.
Yeah, he is. He looks good. The defensive line looks good.
Yeah.
I worry about the secondary because we are just so thin, and I mean people will come at me for this, but don't get me wrong, Denzel Ward is a great player, but he's such a liability because of his constant injuries. He's never healthy. The guy is made of glass.
It's tough.
He must play like 6 or 7 games a season.
You know what, Meghan? You'd be surprised. He misses maybe 2 or 3 games a season. If you average it, he maybe misses 2 or 3, but it seems like it's constant. You're worried about it. It's the style.
Every time he makes a tackle, I'm like, oh God, did he hit his shoulder? Did he tear his hamstring?
Yeah.
Did he get a concussion?
It sucks. It really does.
And you saw, with Mitchell, I mean, he got exposed in that game. I mean,
Mitchell and Hard.
He gave up, I think, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
after Mitchell.
Yeah, it was not good, and Newsome really played a pretty good game. I mean,
Newsome's been playing well.
He has. Hopkins made some incredible catches, and I give credit to Newsome. So if we can have Newsome and Ward healthy, it's a far better product out there. But that Martin Emerson injury really set this thing on its head in training camp. As you mentioned, the defense held Derrick Henry to 23 yards on 11 carries. The Ravens, as a team, 45 yards rushing. Lamar Jackson, I mean, it doesn't even have to look that good because he had a lot of short fields. 19 of 29 for 225, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. And we were stout. We gave up that long play to DeAndre Hopkins and held them at the goal line. Forced a field goal, I believe, and then it was the next opportunity when they're down there near the goal line that they ultimately scored, but on a 4th down, I mean, and on that play, why can't we create turnovers? Why can our defensive backs not manage to get an interception? Devin Bush had an interception and didn't catch it, and on the next play, they scored a touchdown.
Yeah, we haven't forced a turnover and I forget the stat, but it was sometime last season.
Right. I mean, we're -4 on the season in terms of turnovers. We've had, 3 interceptions and 1 fumble. Certainly the 2
and a block punt.
And a block punt. Yeah, you could definitely. I mean, I don't know how that's categorized, but yeah, all those things are you add those all up, and you're like, this is why we're losing. Good teams don't do that. So at least you need to clean up the mistakes. And then you feel like you've got a chance in some of these games if your defense keeps playing well and the offense can stay reasonable. I don't even know. All right. So if you were the GM or the coach and you could sit here and say, all right, here's what we're going to do. This is going to be my master plan. What would you do right now to try to avoid the season going completely down the toilet? What would your moves be?
Well, I think for one at quarterback, you have to ramp up Dylan Gabriel.
Okay.
You have to get him. I know he should be ready because he's the backup, but I don't think he is. I think they're alluding that he is not ready to play is what they're kind of saying. I think you have to get him to the point where he's playing in Detroit.
Okay. I'm with you there. Okay. What's your what other moves or what would your next move be?
I mean, I think you gotta sit down. You gotta reevaluate or something and say what as an offense can we put together that is just simple enough to move the chains.
Well, right. Do you think? Don't you find that when Kevin Stefanski kind of simplifies things for the quarterback and makes it's conservative, but as long as they're not turning it over, they they can move the ball effectively. They can score touchdowns. When you can win games with crappy quarterbacks like PJ Walker and DTR, I feel like you can do a lot. And even they kind of kept things simple in his first season coaching with Baker. And no, we're not throwing Deshaun in. I will throw him in with a bag of soggy potato chips. Thank you. Yeah, and there it is. Alex, thank you. Try to figure out if there's one thing that you can do well on offense. And that's exactly what you're saying, Meghan. I would say I completely agree with the Dylan Gabriel assessment and getting him ramped up and ready to go. We need to know one way or another whether we have a quarterback on this roster going into next year's draft, whether it's Gabriel or Sanders, whatever it is. I mean, and quite frankly, the college quarterbacks that are supposed to be great, they look horrible. Absolutely horrible. But yeah, I think if you got to get the run blocking down, you got to get the run blocking.
And I know, like, I think the age of the line is starting to really, really show. And then you got Conklin. He wasn't even on the injury report
until the end of the week. He had like the eye.
And then like he can't go.
It was something with it was his elbow at the end of the week.
I mean, he's another one that is just he's hurt more than he's healthy. And when he's healthy, you can't even tell he's in.
Right. Well, I don't know. I guess maybe if he's in, you can't tell that he's in because he's not making a mistake.
I don't know.
Well, I think that it's been said, and this is not me making an original thought here, but my understanding, and it's kind of obvious, Conklin's probably done here after this season.
I think Batonio's done.
Yeah, Batonio probably.
I think Wyatt Teller is probably
right. He's got a big contract number, and he's getting older. And then Posick, he might be gone too. You're going to have to completely retool that line. Wouldn't that be another reason for making sure you ramp up and you see if you've got a quarterback on this roster with the 2 first-round picks we've got coming up, that maybe you can get a top-tier offensive lineman? I mean, Zach Zinter, what the hell is he? Well, he's not even active on game day.
Right.
He was a 3rd-round pick. I know that was a bit of they felt he was first-round talent that they were able to get in the 3rd round because of the injury he had at Michigan in the game against Ohio State. They've got a whole offensive line to rebuild and retool. And I don't know. I'm at a loss here. What do you think will either result in people keeping their jobs or people losing their jobs, such as like if they go 3-14, they look terrible and there's no signs of improvement. Are they toast? If they go 6-11 and they start to show some signs of improvement, and maybe the rookie they seem to have found something in a rookie quarterback, does that save their job? What do you think this scenario is for this staff to not be axed after the season?
I think if you have another season where you win 3 or 4 games, I think you question and you go, listen, I think it's time. I think it's time you have to move on because, I mean, like, I don't know. I don't know if it comes down to the head coach. I think it comes down to the general manager. I don't know. I don't know if they're waiting to see, like, you get over this hump of the repercussions of the Deshaun Watson trickle down. And they're going, all right, well, we only have like a year left and we're finally getting 1st-round picks again. I don't, but that again, like but even without Deshaun Watson, I mean, we made it to the playoffs. So
right, exactly. I would say there's the wins. It's not an exact science, of course. it's going to depend on how you look on the field. Regardless, the number of wins is obviously important, but how you look and the health of the team and the situation at the time of those games, whether you're just completely destroyed and decimated by injuries or whatever it is. And yes, very good point. You hit the nail on the head, as we had talked about and alluded to, the Deshaun Watson deal and how badly that went. And Jimmy Haslam, you have to assume he played a large hand in that. And so him, coming out saying it was a swing and a miss and kind of getting behind the coach and general manager. For people so let me ask you this. Who do you blame more, Barry or Stefanski?
I don't know. It's so hard for me to separate because it's so frustrating because I listen to Kevin Stefanski after every game.
We got to be better. We got to play better. We own it.
He just there's no there's no hey, we sucked and we have to figure it out. It's like, oh, that was hard, but everyone battled. I gotta watch the tape. We have to coach better as coaches. We've heard that for 6 years now.
The only difference is basically if you're winning and they say that, you're like, okay, whatever.
Right,
but you're not, and so you're sick of it. And I don't. Okay, wait a second. What about? So you want Tony Grossi to coach, Bridget? Is this what you're telling me? You want Tony Grossi? I love Grossi.
I love Tony Grossi.
He is the man, and I hate.
For instance, Sunday's game, your star defensive back was out majority of the game, and he just blows it. Why was he out?
Yeah,
I get he had cramps, but that's your top guy. He should be out there. I don't drink freaking pickle juice every time you come off the field.
Hey now, we can make a Denzel Ward's patented pickle juice.
It's just but then today was weird. I listened to his
presser,
his presser today, and I remember Sunday people asked why DeJuan Jones was out.
Right.
And he said it was due to heat. And then DeJuan Jones today said he was fine in the heat. It was a coach's decision. So if that's the case,
I missed this. Oh no.
Yeah, so if that's the case, why can't Stefanski be listen, he blew a couple coverages. He had to come out.
Okay, so all right, so let me ask you a question on that point. Is it better to try and keep things in-house than to throw people under the bus?
No, I'm tired of it. That's the one thing the Browns do is they keep everything so under wraps that they don't let anyone in. They don't let the fans in. They don't let anyone in. They don't know. We've been at the mercy of a PR person for however many years this has gone on.
Right, and that is why Kevin and Andrew may go down in the ship together. I can almost guarantee it because they have worked they have collaborated.
Oh, and both of them, they're so intelligent because they're Ivy League guys, so they can. But at the end of the day, I watch a lot of these coaches and they're frustrated and they're you gotta catch the ball. You gotta we have to not fumble the ball or throw an interception. It's not oh, Joe knows that. He should.
I would love to know if ever behind closed doors, it's something different.
Oh, I would too. I mean, it's got to be. I'd love to be a fly on the wall.
Yes.
On a Monday when the team comes in and they go over the game.
Well, right. I mean, what did we hear last year though? Was it last year? Maybe because it was on the in-season Hard Knocks, where maybe he wasn't as critical of Watson, and stuff. I'm oh no. Was he that mental? I think, or weak mentally. I mean, ultimately what it came down to is there was the lack of playing turned into rust, and then it all went to his head. and he was an absolute disaster. And if he ever knew how to play football, he forgot. He just forgot.
Oh yeah, he's
And I think that all these ridiculous training videos, please tell me that that's to try and show somebody else he's healthy, and that they'll be desperate enough that maybe they'll take him if we eat part of his salary.
I mean, like, just think about it, the amount of money he puts into the production of those videos. And the guy hasn't played like anything isn't played for us for 2 seasons.
As my friends have said, they yell at me and they say, admit that was the worst trade ever made in NFL in sports history. And they're not wrong, although that Ricky Williams deal for the entire draft, remember when Mike Ditka, that was pretty bad. And then of course the Herschel Walker trade.
Right.
So
I mean, it was the worst. It's the worst trade ever. I mean, and then you look at I hate to bring it up, but you look at the guy they replaced the other night.
Yeah, and
that's just, you're just like, at what point? What are we doing here?
No, and that's a good discussion. And so much of that, I think there was a breakdown. It was on both parties.
Oh, I know, and I know I was not a huge Baker fan towards his last season. I thought, he obviously has grown up. But
yes, he has. And why can't people understand that?
Yeah.
Why can't people just accept the fact that he not only left here, right, on circumstances that were partially because of his own stubbornness.
Right.
That he stunk in Carolina. And then he was a short term. They didn't keep him in LA.
Right.
And then he had to, when he went down to Tampa, he had to compete.
Oh, yeah. He was
like a rookie, Kyle Trask. He had to compete with, even though he had been a number one pick, he's competing with a guy who's never played it down. And then someone was reporting that yesterday I heard that a person down in Tampa Bay, who reported on the team said, yeah, he was still kind of a jerk. Like when they first showed like training camp videos and like they couldn't hit the side of a barn. He was crappy toward that reporter, for a number of days. And it's crazy what happened there. And that game the other night, like, people need to stop having revisionist history. I'm sorry. Yeah, Johnny and Payne Watson, the drafting Johnny, that. And then he goes out and talks smack about Cleveland. Give me you screwed yourself, buddy. Absolutely screwed yourself. And to try and come across here and say it's Cleveland's fault and this, that, and the other, and you and Braylon Edwards, you deserve each other. Thanks. Okay.
I think the most frustrating thing is that you look at these players, and we're seeing them on other teams now that were our players, and the amount of success that they have.
Yeah.
And you just go, what was the disconnect at Cleveland? Because what is, I don't get it.
Well,
I'm like, I don't know. And you saw glimpses of what Baker Mayfield was the year that he took us to the COVID year.
Yeah.
And he was great. And then you just, I get it. Like, people go up and down, but you're just like, why does every player that leaves our team have so much success?
Well, let me ask you though, in recent history, other than Baker, is there anybody that you can name who you think has left the Browns and been like ultra successful?
I think Jabril Peppers had a couple good years.
A couple good years. He was a first round pick. He should have had more than a couple good years. He should have been an all pro, to be quite honest. All right. So I'll give you that. All right. Who else? Let's see. Who was it? Cam Irving? Maybe it was
there was Cam Irving. He kind of came back.
Danny Shelton?
No,
that's the first. He played everywhere. That guy played everywhere. Stop it. We're talking about the current Browns, not the old Browns. Okay, stop it, Bridget.
Because maybe DeQuell Jackson.
He was a solid player here.
Yeah.
He was solid here. So I have no problem with it. I think that there haven't been many that have left and gone on.
Who was the linebacker? And then
Well, you're not talking. Well, wait. You just said DeQuell.
no, it was recent. We drafted him, and then of course Bill Belichick picked him up.
Taki.
No, Mac.
Oh, yeah. Was it Mac Wilson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was good with the Patriots.
Right. He was okay here. Nothing, but I will say that, like, I think Baker's kind of the outlier. And it's because it's recent history and because
what if Nick Chubb has a good year?
I think he's having a good year, but do you also agree that an offer was made to him and he ultimately turned it down and before the draft? And they said, okay, we're going to draft a run. We need to address this position because right now all we've got on the roster is Jerome Ford and at that time Pierre Strong.
That makes me kick myself in the head when you pick Jerome Ford over.
Right, I would have offered the money you gave to Jerome Ford to keep Nick Chubb, but would he have wanted to be a running back 3?
I don't think he would have been, but I think you would have maybe just drafted one running back then.
Right. And that goes to what was the draft strategy? Now, I know they didn't have any word or guarantee from Nick Chubb that he was going to come back if they hadn't drafted 2 running backs. And they got Dylan Sampson in the 4th round, I believe. That's a value pick there. He was the offensive player of the year in the SEC and was really good. And I think he's got a role here. I will say, I think Chubb, other than that one run the other night, he was mediocre at best. It was more about the locker room and the heart than anything else, I think. Because those were horrific injuries. And I love the guy, and I would have loved to have had him playing now in Cleveland, for sure, especially ahead of Jerome Ford. But I'm not, I think that the biggest ones we're talking about in recent times are really Baker Mayfield and I don't know who else has gone on and just had the best years of their career after they've left here. I mean, Braylon Edwards wanted out of here, thought he was hot stuff. He had one maybe good season after he left here.
He had
a year
that good season with the Jets when they went to the play. When they were right on the verge of the,
I can't remember. Maybe were they on the AFC Championship?
Yeah, they were on AFC Championship.
That with Mark Butt Fumble Sanchez.
Yes.
And Rex Ryan, but other than that, he flamed out. And I mean, we just really haven't had that many good players. We've had solid players like what was it? TJ Ward. He went to, he went to.
He did really well. He did well in Denver.
Right, he was pretty good, but what happened? Barkevious Mingo? Can I offer you a Barkevious Mingo?
He's in prison.
Probably.
He really is.
Oh, good. Well, there you go.
He touched a kid. Yeah.
Hey, can I offer you a Jacob Phillips? I mean, Greedy Williams for you? Would you like? Can I offer you a Justin Gilbert?
No, so I was gonna say Justin Gilbert.
I mean, how bad are these? Trent Richardson for you? The best player we had was in the supplemental draft was Josh Gordon, and because of the rules of the NFL, he couldn't stay on the field. And there it is. And then Danny Shelton, just fan. And he's had an okay career. He's carried on, but I think at the end of the day,
carried on about 500 pounds.
What's that?
He's carried on about 500 pounds.
Oh my goodness. I don't know. So I think that we can just say that there's lots of things, there's negatives. What do you think the injuries to Joe Burrow, JJ McCarthy? You see those other teams, they're not, the AFC isn't as an open shut of a case as it isn't as open and shut of a case as we might have thought. And you've got the Bills on the top. And then after that, the Chiefs aren't the same Chiefs. And then of course, you've got the Ravens. But everybody else is kind of, I don't know. I mean, so isn't that more reason to not let this season slip away and try everything possible to right the ship after 2 weeks?
No, I mean, I think you just gotta regroup and figure, like we talked about, you gotta figure out what you can do good and what you can control. And I don't know if they're trying to be like X, Y, and Z team, like,
Right.
and just be the Browns. Like, just I know, like, that's stupid to say, but like be your own identity instead of trying to be like this team and doing these routes. Like, clearly it's not working. Go back to what worked 2 years ago. Go back to what worked in the games that we won last year.
Yeah, I mean,
at that point we didn't have a whole lot. Remember? I mean,
oh, that was brutal. And I mean, well, that last year was completely just a catastrophe because they changed the entire offense to try to make it fit for Deshaun Watson. And that's part of the reason that Joe Flacco wasn't here, is because one, he wasn't going to sit idly by and sit behind Deshaun Watson. And two, I mean, what was he going to do in a shotgun spread offense? That wasn't his jam either. So, I don't know. It's going to be a long Sunday. It could be a very long day on Sunday.
I think it'll be worse than last Sunday.
Well, I mean,
I watched the Packers defense, and it's
Micah
scary.
Micah Parsons.
I mean, I watched them against the Commanders that night, and I mean, Jaden Daniels couldn't do a damn thing, and he's good. He runs, and he couldn't do anything.
Right. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah. Thank you. That Angel, typical Browns fan from the Bearded Browns podcast. Thank you for tuning in here. Yeah. Missed opportunities, turnovers should be one. Well, we should be, but we're not, because that's what a bad football teams lose games like that, and good football teams win games. Yeah. Just like you were saying, Meghan, the nickel. Yeah. Jordan Love could eat us alive. I don't know if we're going to be able to get to love it all, but that's our best chance, is to keep the pressure on him and control the ball and go from there. So I think we've said a lot, but you know what, Meghan, as you are back here and it is time, why don't you tell everybody what has you going nuclear?
Oh gosh, you put me on the spot.
Well, do you want me to tell people what has me going nuclear?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll tell, and if you've got something that's got people going, got something you going nuclear, you
All
tell.
right.
But so I've talked about this before. I've talked about it ad nauseum. I'm a broadcaster in every sense of my being. So when I watch the games and I watch these people on national television not be able to name the players correctly, I just can't believe it. I'm like, this is your job. He's calling the wrong players, saying the wrong names. This is like Tom McCarthy. He's not even like the F team broadcaster. He's a good broadcaster. I don't know what he's doing out there. Can you please do your homework and get the job, get the names right. Do your job. I'm so sick and tired of watching this. But I will tell you, on the positive side of the broadcasters who can't do their job, I am listening to the game on the way home. My, after the clown show, and thank you, Angel. We go out to get dinner, and we're on our way home, and something happened in a game. I don't know when this was, but I can't even remember what game I'm listening to. And the color commentary guy goes, "Oh, there were two guys out there. They tackled him." Like, what did you just add to the broadcast? What did you add? You added absolutely nothing to tell me why they were in that position. What happened there? You're an overexcited turd. Shut up. Okay? Quit with your excitement. Tell me what happened. You're the color commentary guy. And Jacob said to me, "All right, we know this. We know this. All right, we're gonna Dr. D over here, the lime green Yeah, Andrew was a little. Okay, we everyone's gonna go. So Megan, so my son says to me, I mean, maybe I'm just being too harsh and too critical. You know what? Okay, well,
I'm sorry.
oh, it's pretty funny. It is. But you know what? You know what my son said to me, which was like the nicest thing that I could have heard is he said, "Yeah, you're a little critical, but you're angry with it because you would want to do that job and you can do it better than them." And so that's not really, as part of my going nuclear, but something that, for anybody out there who's a parent who has a kid and to have them say that something like that to you, I would thank my son for that and sitting and watching the games and listening to me rant and rave about everything. So I do appreciate that. But yeah, broadcasters who can't do their daggone job, at least get the players' names right and be accurate with that kind of stuff. You know that, Megan. You watched your dad do it. So that is what has me going nuclear. Was there anything that was coming to your mind that has you going nuclear? If not, that is okay.
So it wasn't about the dildo, though. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, it wasn't about the dildo. Although the dildos, like, I'm kind of. What do you think about the dildos?
I think it's hysterical because there was a game this Sunday. I forget, maybe it was the Bengal game. I don't know.
Yes,
But someone threw a dildo and they literally put the flag, like the flag
Yes,
ribbon
on
across
the
the
broadcast.
the television broadcast. And I'm like, that is crazy.
Well, like, it was kind of funny when they were throwing throwing it in what was I gonna say? Like Buffalo used to do it to like Tom Brady or something. But it wasn't the green neon thing. How do you think the discussion is? How do you think they walk in the stadium with those things? I know they're not going to set off the metal detectors,
Oh,
but could you just imagine, like, hey, is that is that a salami in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? I mean, where are you stuffing this thing?
hey, there's a lot of places where
Hey now, oh
So,
my.
I don't know.
Could you imagine, like,
Perhaps let's find the person in Cleveland and have them on the podcast and explain
I
where
think
they.
we should. I think we should have them on the podcast to discuss how they managed to do that. Were you a fan of the Drew Carey show?
I was.
There was an episode where Mimi stuck like all the sex toys in Drew's like luggage, and he had to go through like the check, whatever, the security at the airport. My brother was at the filming of that episode when he
Really?
lived out in California. Yeah, and I mean, hysterical, absolutely hysterical. Okay, wait. So you're gonna have a chub underneath your chub? Is this what you're saying? A chub underneath the chub? All right, all right. We are really we are going off the rails here, Megan.
We are.
We are going off the rails, but we are going to have to search. I think I should put a post out there. If you were the person at Cleveland Brown Stadium who threw the how can we describe it? The marital aid onto the field.
Dildo. You just say dildo.
Please,
the lime green dildo that Andrew Siciliano thought was a flag.
please reach out to us.
Please reach out to Meg Donovan 44
with a picture of you and the dildo at the game so that we know you're not lying, and we'll have a discussion about how you got that in there. Oh my gosh, Megan, this is crazy. At least we're laughing.
Yeah.
We are having fun here. All right. Well, Megan, thank you so much for being on. This was a pleasure. We will do it again. This is great. Just fantastic. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of the week.
You too.
I shall do so. So,
we also give a shout out to everyone who commented because they were really loading it on tonight.
They were. So thank you to
Bridget.
Yep, Angel, Bridget. Let's see. We've got let's see. Oh, who there was one other person who I see here and I can't see. Oh, it's just Bridget?
There was Alex and
yes, Bridget, Alex, and Angel, typical Browns fan, Angel Ortiz from the Bearded Browns podcast. Make sure everybody go and follow the Bearded Browns podcast. Typical for Browns fan on X is Angel. They are a fantastic group of guys. Thank you to everybody who tuned in and commented. Thank you, Meghan, so much for being here. This was an absolute pleasure. And so, for Meghan Donovan, I'm Ethan Greenberg, and you've been tuned in to Going nuCLEar, full-blown coverage of the land.